All
They
right.
really are.
What is up, perfectionists? Delapo here with Lewis and Steve, the potentially perfect squad. So just a little housekeeping before we get into today's topics, that we can just dive right into it as quickly as possible. New month, new merch. Every month we add new designs to the merch store. You can catch them at Potentially Perfect on Designed by Humans slash shop slash Potentially Perfect. Go check that stuff out. Got a great buy one get one half off sale going on right now. Code word pew pew because Star Wars, all that shit. So there you go. Also, leading up to E3, we've got a new segment coming out called How to Win E3. Make sure to look for that starting this week. That video should be going up on Wednesday. I hate the way that
Really?
so,
Wednesday? That's how we're doing it?
Wednesday.
Can that segment just be us saying no more loot boxes
Yeah,
and then
the video
cut
gamers
it?
have been trying for like the past like 3 years to get that cut out.
Not hard enough.
Yeah, maybe we're the breaking point.
Try harder.
Which country? Isn't there a country that just outlawed it completely and it's illegal now?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like Sweden or some shit.
I think it was
Yeah.
Belgium.
Was it Belgium?
They're all
Oh,
similar places.
some European country. There's two now, actually. It was the Netherlands, and then I think it was either Belgium or something else that started with a B. It was good.
Because it's gambling.
Yeah, so that was cool. So
Way to look out for the little guys.
I know,
Belgium.
right? I'm really happy that these European countries are looking out for. Come on, America, what's going on?
We
Step
need
your
more
game up.
socialism.
Jesus, the views of Steven do not like the views. Essentially,
I was gonna try and do a little Bernie there, but I don't have a good Bernie.
and it might come across as a little bit racist.
I don't think so.
So, anyways, Lewis, what you been playing?
Basically Fortnite and Clash Royale. Those two are my shit right now. And I just got a copy of the new Call of Duty, the World War II one. It's actually I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. I don't know what makes it so fun. Maybe the simplicity of it, but it's pretty good.
You know, the Call of Duty is like age like milk, right? Like, you know, there's like a new one coming out in like 4 months.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like
So
I
by
went
the
in
time
there
you
and I'm
get good at
thinking
that
that
one, I feel like you gotta, and then you gotta move on to Black Ops.
maybe I don't know. It's just like the old guns and like there's no more running on walls, no jetpacks, no like it's very like standard gameplay.
Man,
Thank God.
I miss the wall running, man. I'm
Not
sorry.
me.
I'm
I
not
love
gonna
it.
I'm not gonna lie. The wall running was definitely
I
one of my
love
favorite
it.
They were doing
features.
too
To get
fast.
kills on a wall run and to run through someone during it, that's pretty good.
All I'm saying is, a rose by any other name. If freaking Titanfall is allowed to do it, I don't know why everybody gets all up in arms when
Because
something
they
else
straight
does
up
it.
lifted it from Titanfall.
What are you talking about?
Bro. They're the same game.
You're telling me that wall running was invented?
Yes,
By Titanfall,
Titanfall
okay.
invented wall running.
Fact check it. Oh, by the way, make sure you're watching the chat, Steven. I think you're the only one who can do it.
I'm the only one not watching it right now.
All right, cool.
Hold on.
Steven, what have you been playing lately, by the way?
I have been playing Clash Royale. I got really back into
Yeet.
Ocarina of Time for some reason on the 3DS, and just a shitload of Fortnite.
God, we're doing so much Fortnite. I think we
And of course,
might be
League
like
of Legends.
we might be adolescents. I think that's what.
There's no such thing as too much Fortnite. It's just so good. It's such a good
Dude,
simple
it's
game.
literally the best game ever
Until
created.
Radical Heights takes off and yeets all over Fortnite.
Bro, I don't know why you're on such a Radical Heights bandwagon. Like, it has a funny concept,
Mm-hmm.
but all it is like 80s game show skin on players killing each other in a room, and you have
It
vehicles.
plays
Like, that's
You're
really
the
not that
best from
much.
Karate Kid. All right.
Bro, that's
That's
not that's the only thing you. I could put that on my like phone while I'm winning at Fortnite if I ever win, because I don't. But you know what I mean.
Mm.
Bro, we came so close when we had our stranger friend.
Yeah, you always need someone to carry you.
Always. That's the key. Get another teammate who's better, and then just hide.
There you go.
Don't
Exactly.
die. Don't die.
Man, I've been playing. Yeah, I've been playing so much Fortnite. I got back into Farm Together, because sometimes after like a really intense game of Fortnite, you need to untilt. And so I just go and I farm my plants, I feed
That
my
like Farmville.
chickens. It, yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of like
it's a
Farmville,
Farmville
but like
farming
in 3D.
simulator, and
Yeah,
that's what Delapo does to lower his heart rate after being killed in
yeah.
Fortnite.
T me. Oh, anyways, I gotta. So much anger. Freaking top two. Last one's there, and I
It
accidentally
happens.
picked up the axe instead of equipping my shotgun.
Bro, I did that live one time.
Oh, it was so bad. All right, so moving on to the news story. We got to get into the news stories here, ladies and gents. It
There
looks
is
as though
no
the Federal
news.
Trade Commission has sent out warnings to Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony about their warranties. So basically, what used to happen, like they used to have like this nonsense, straight nonsense on the warranties. Things like if you damage the sticker, the warranty sticker, like on the console, your warranty was voided. If
Yeah.
Nintendo had some nonsense about like if you use like certain third-party controllers, your warranty was voided. So basically, they were just like, look, this stuff is super anti-consumer. Do better. So yeah, so now I mean I'm hoping these things are resolved rather quickly because a lot of people are getting really pissed off. Like if you brought your console to like a repair shop or something like that to fix something that was wrong, like a disk drive or something like that, to be like, nah, fuck you, your warranty's it's gone now.
And so, what governing body was the one that did this?
The Federal Trade Commission.
Federal Trade Commission. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really interesting. Like a lot of times when we see government intervention in gaming as a whole, because I don't know, I think it makes a lot of people nervous, but at the same time, like this is something the consumers needed. You know, a lot of people are getting fucked over by bad warranty practices. The sticker thing really, really annoyed me. Just the idea that if someone like if I bump into something when I'm plugging in my controller, my console the right way or something like that, and it gets scratched and now my warranty's fucked. Like, what the hell is that? It's nonsense.
It's
Either way.
baloney.
You know how I feel about government intervention. But goddamn, the gaming community, or not the community, the fucking industry is just so anti us.
Yeah, and it goes back to that loot box thing that we were talking about earlier. It's like if they won't regulate themselves, they won't govern themselves. It's basically like the Wild West out there. And I mean, if they're not going to do it themselves, someone else is going to do it. Someone else is
I
going to.
mean, it's partially our fault because, like, yes, free market, let them do what they want, and if they do something wrong, we won't buy their shit, but we keep buying their shit. Like,
Yeah.
they keep doing it wrong, and we keep going, like, oh, give us more.
Right, and I think that's where the biggest problem is. It's more the consumer more than them, because we're, like you said, we're just letting them get away with everything. We're not putting our foot down. People are still, like, I remember when Battlefront was coming out or whatever, people were still buying it, or if anything, parents were buying it as gifts for like multiple like children and things like that, or other family members. So it just we also have to do better.
But see, the thing is though, I know a lot of people like to bag on the people who like buy those games still, but there are a vast segment of people who are like, yeah, we'll buy the game, but we won't buy the microtransactions. You know what I mean? It's always it's the whales. Those are the people, the people with the addictive tendencies, people who just spend thousands of dollars on these games. Those are the people like EA and Activision. Those are the people they want. They don't care about the people who are spending money on the game past the initial launch. It's not. It's rough, and I think that's who it aims to. Those laws and things like that in Belgium, Netherlands. Those are who it aims to protect. So especially the children who are more susceptible to that kind of thing. So it's whenever you put children in like news stories and things like that. Oh, that's when the government really wants to step in. They got to get reelected somehow.
They gotta seem like
It
the
did
good
my
guys.
heart good. It did my heart good to see that picture on Black Friday of Battlefront, and the shelf was just full of them. Like, I was so happy to see that.
So moving on, I think this one should produce a good conversation here. God of War is the PS4's fastest selling exclusive game. So basically, in its first 3 days, it sold 3.1 million, basically a million a day for the first 3 days.
That's good.
And so there becomes this narrative like people, Ubisoft and Activision and EA have been trying to feed us this bullshit about how single player games just aren't, they don't produce money, nobody buys them anymore. It's horseshit. All right, we buy good single player games. You know, this. I mean, this just speaks volumes. I haven't bought it yet, mainly because every time I buy a $60 PlayStation game, literally 2 months later, it's $20 cheaper, and
Yeah.
I always get played by that. So I'm waiting for that, but I'm very excited. I mean, people have called it their game of the year so far. I mean, Red Dead hasn't come out yet, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I know people have
Do
been
you
saying
think?
really good things about it.
But do you think that Red Dead is going to be that much better than God of
There's a
War?
lot of hype behind it.
Bro, Red Dead is such a good game. Like the first one.
Well, like, so I played the first one a little bit, and I don't know. I felt at least more inclined to the God of War, but I guess because I like that kind of hack and slash gameplay. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. The way it was described to me that even made me pick it up was they said it was going to be like Grand Theft Auto but Wild West, and I love Grand Theft Auto, so
Yeah, no, I mean, Red Dead Redemption. So if you don't know, it got like pushed back into this year, right? Because they wanted to take some extra time to polish it, and with the pedigree that Rockstar has,
Yeah.
they haven't fucked up in recent times. When they make a game and they delay it, they're only delaying it to make it good. And with the success of Grand Theft Auto 5, I mean, that game was printing money. It still sells.
how long has it been like riding that wave?
Since it was out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah, and like no,
For
but the
a
thing is,
minute.
the reason the Grand Theft Auto one, they just keep releasing new DLC and content.
Yeah, for
Like
the
now they got
online.
flying
Yeah.
car races online and everything. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's what a game should be. You should make one solid game, and then just keep adding stuff to it. Like get a good base, you know?
Yeah, and
I
I
don't
mean,
mind DLC in that respect.
but that's also part of the problem though, because these companies, every company wants the Grand Theft Auto 5. And so they keep putting out games so they can make Grand Theft Auto 5. Basically, like with Destiny, from Ubisoft, and you got Activision with Overwatch, and EA. They tried to have that be Star Wars, and they're gonna try to have that be Anthem. But basically, like those worlds where you live in. But at the same time, if you watch Jim Sterling, and I'll definitely try and link it to you guys so you guys can watch it. But basically, the biggest resource that these kinds of games fight over is the user's time. If you're spending all your time in Grand Theft Auto Online, that means you're not spending your time in Destiny. And that goes the same way for if you're spending all your time in Destiny, you're not spending. So gamers cannot split their time amongst all these games equally, and so what you're going to have is these gaming communities where there's not a whole lot of people. Like that's the problem that happened with Destiny. They couldn't keep the people holding on with enough content to keep them entertained and playing their game. So when something else came out, they'll jump ship and they went and played something else. That's what happened with me. I was like, there's not enough stuff here right now for me. I didn't buy the season pass because fuck y'all. And so
Yeah.
I got my money's worth and I was out. And it was still a good game. I think it was a very good game technically, and I had a good time with it. So I don't feel bad about that. But yeah, it's time as a commodity is not something that I think is sustainable. I think Grand Theft Auto 5, they got lucky because what happened was they didn't even put out DLC for the single player. Why? Because they don't have to. They just put it out for the online because that's where the people are. That's where they keep coming back to. Um, and so as we move forward, and a lot of people are speculating that Red Dead Redemption will have something sort of like Red Dead Online, and that'll be the new thing. And maybe it will, maybe it won't be. But if that's the case, and that becomes the new hotness, I don't see a point to any of what these other companies are trying to do. Like the Division Two, I feel bad for you, son, because if there's Red Dead Online, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely insane.
Now, do you
Um,
think that if Red Dead Online does become a thing, do you think that that'll probably replace the Grand Theft Auto 5 online?
I think a large community is going to start residing in Red Dead Online. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. Not as many as Grand Theft Auto because in theory you could have horses in Grand Theft Auto Online if you wanted to,
I'm
but
sure there's already a mod for
you're right. But for like things like continuity and things like that, there's a cap to what you could put in Red Dead Online. You know, like you
Right.
can't put
So
machine guns in Red Dead Online. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd
Hell
feel
yeah, you
really out of
can.
it'd feel out of place. You know what I
They
mean?
had repeaters back then.
Yeah, not
Old
like
Gatling
machine
gun have
guns.
an ass.
Yeah, they had Gatling guns, but not machine guns in the traditional sense. So you can't have like an AK-47 in Red Dead Online. You can't have flying cars in Red Dead Online. However, you could have the suspension of disbelief. I mean, horses with wings if you wanted to. You could
I
have
already
flying
know how to
horses.
do it, bro.
Right. So there's a line, and I think the possibilities are definitely like they're there, but I think they'd have a harder time with things like DLC for Red Dead Online. So I think there's going to be some movement there, but I don't think it's going to completely take away from Grand Theft Auto 5 Online.
my
I've got
speculation is that there's
3
going to
words for
be
you.
a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of hype, a big boom, and then in the end, it's just going to end up coming right back to Grand Theft Auto 5 just because you can have
I believe
updates.
that. I think that's definitely something that can happen. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that they start working on the next Grand Theft Auto. But as it stands right now, if they're still printing so much money off of this version of Grand Theft Auto Online, they have no reason to make Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah,
Like,
I
none at
agree.
all.
They should just keep doing it because you have a good base. The game's fun. They keep adding new, I guess, gameplay styles. Like now you got races. You had car races and boat races. Now jet ski, fucking what is it? Helicopter races and stuff like that. And now it's the flying cars with the Back to the Future one.
Right, but I mean, I'm just talking about like for the single player aspect of because people do like the single player for Grand Theft Auto. I mean, for the longest time there wasn't online, so we still bought Grand Theft Auto in the millions simply because we liked running around and blowing shit up. So yeah, it's. I'm very interested to see. This whole story was about God of War.
We mentioned it like once at the beginning.
I mean, yeah. So the next game coming out though is Detroit. I think that's this month actually. Detroit Become Human. So that's the next one. I think that one's gonna do okay.
I think I've seen something about it. I think I've seen something about it, or maybe you told me about it.
Yeah, it's from the Heavy Rain people.
You did tell me about it.
Yeah, you guys played that. And how was that, by the way?
Heavy Rain?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm not into games like that. Like I didn't like what was the other one that was super big?
There's like The Walking Dead from Telltale.
Nah, I don't remember. But usually I don't get into it. But Heavy Rain I actually did like a lot.
Okay.
Like, I like the story itself. I like kind of like the dark, grimy kind of like New York scenery.
I only ever played the Telltale games because I mean like with me, I think games need gameplay. I'm sorry. Like I know there are people out there who like those interactive movie type games. It's not for me. I can't do
I
it.
think that's why I never really finished it.
Yeah, it for me. I mean, it's so boring sometimes.
It's fun to a point where
It's like 99%
when you don't want to do
cutscene.
anything. Like when you don't want to do anything, it's fun. When you just want to sit back and like, all right, now I'm gonna push X. Now I'm gonna push square.
There's a good balance between it because I think I think the Uncharted series did it perfectly. Because I felt when I played all the Uncharted, it was like a movie and it was great. I was like, I need to watch this again. And I think I've beaten 1 through 3 2 times, and I still haven't played the 4th one yet. But like those were great movie type games. But I can understand what you mean about like Heavy Rain. That it's like okay,
Yeah.
get going, but it's still good. I think another game that did it really well as like almost an interactive movie was Last of Us.
That's the other one that I played that I wasn't like. I think I played like a few cutscenes of it, and then I was like, all right, I'm over it. I'm gonna go back to Destiny 2.
See, that's the thing that Sony really has. Like, Sony
like
has a lot of games where they're very heavily cinematic. The problem that I have with like the Telltale games and like the Heavy Rain type games is the fucking quick time events. I hate that shit where I'm like, oh, it's a cutscene. Let me set down my controller. Oh, I need to press X right fucking now or I die.
What self-respecting gamer puts down the controller when they're
That's
playing
what
a
I'm
game?
saying.
It's a
What is wrong
cutscene.
with you?
It's not a cutscene though. The whole game
No. This is an
whole game is a
interactive
fucking
movie. You need to be in it.
You are
It's
the
bullshit.
cutscene.
Regardless, it's bullshit. I hate that nonsense.
You would have hated the old Dreamcast game, the old Dreamcast, and I think it came to Xbox. The Shenmue, that was all fucking quick time events.
Wait, I have a question though. Why were you putting down the controller when you literally have to move to the cutscene to activate the cutscene?
Well, yeah, you move to the cutscene, it activates it, and you sit back and you let, you know, whatever the fuck is happening on the screen happen until it's time for you to make another decision.
Delapo is just
That's it.
special. Delapo is just a very special child, and that's what he
So
does.
it's funny that we're talking about that because Quantum Break, the developer said that their next game they're going to be releasing information at E3, and what Quantum Break was this game, and it's not for everyone. I will say that right now. It was an Xbox exclusive. It was like a time travel game, and basically what happened was the decisions you made in the game affected what happened in the live action part. So they had like a live action like TV show part that replaced cutscenes during certain sections. So after you clear like an act of the game, it would give you like a live action TV show portion, and decisions that you made before that would affect what you saw in the TV show. And like I said, it's not for everyone. It's like it's kind of like weird, like it's jarring, going from like the CGI graphics and then like to like live action right after, and you're like, oh, they really look like the actors if they were all like dipped in plastic, you know. But it was still really cool. I like that, and so I think that these kinds of games like offer the perfect amount of like hands off, but mixed with like the cinematic like storytelling kind of thing. So when they take all control away and it's just you pressing decisions, and in the corner it's like, oh, Michelle will remember that. Like fuck you. Like I don't care. But yeah, I think we're heading in an interesting direction depending on how well Detroit does. It's shaping up to look like it looks really good. It looks really good. But once again, it's one of those games I'm gonna wait for. I'm gonna wait till it's like $40 because they be trying to scam you.
Bro, I'm gonna start doing that with every game.
I'm
Destiny turned into $20 like a week after it dropped, bro.
I mean, but Nintendo doesn't do that. Nintendo's games stay like $60 for like 4 fucking years. Moving on, we're going to talk about mobile a little bit. The new Harry Potter game is problematic. A lot of people citing some issues with continuity, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to a mobile game for continuity, you went to the wrong fucking place.
Yeah, like how much are you really expecting from the mobile game? Come on.
Like, and it's so funny. I think it's really interesting that people had an issue with Harry Potter, like the Harry Potter game for story problems, but like they went to like Pokemon Go, they're like, this is fine. This is nothing like what the battling system is like in the handheld games, but this is fine.
This is the best game ever.
Yeah, people went nuts
for a week.
It's because a lot of people still play it though.
Yeah,
dude, I see people all the time, like in line in Chipotle yesterday. I seen a dude fucking just like
people still play that shit.
Hell I can't. I'm still on it. I'm still playing that game. That game is great.
Like, the only reason I stopped is because I lost all my data.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, I lost it all, so I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it again. Like, I'm not gonna go through all the trouble.
Man, that shit ate batteries. I remember that. Like, your battery would be gone.
You needed 2 portable chargers and a wall adapter everywhere you went.
Right here, bro. Yeah. Right here. This right here is what that power bank. This power bank right here was the titties right here.
So yeah, for Harry Potter, have you guys tried it out yourselves? I know you said Hannah.
Yeah, I've just watched Hannah play it a little bit. I haven't really gotten.
So what's the gameplay like?
From what I can tell, it's just like swiping and like to cast spells. Like, oh, this one's a circle. This one, but like so again, I haven't really.
So what is it?
Yeah,
like,
I believe you're a student.
Is it like a puzzle game?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't seen too many gameplays. I've just seen her like casting spells by like, oh, swipe this way to learn how to do that.
So it shows how much interest we have in Harry Potter right now. I mean, I do like the Harry Potter. My wife's been reading me the books and everything, but
I've got the tattoo.
I don't know.
Like, I love
the
Harry Potter.
idea of a Harry Potter mobile game. I don't know, because I played the ones for console back in the day, and I always thought they were really cool. I don't know why we didn't get any more Quidditch games. Because that always
I would have ate the shit out of a Quidditch game.
And I think that's totally ripe for VR, especially if you want to throw up. I think that'll be great for VR.
New Harry Potter game now with throw up features included.
I'm just saying, like you're riding your broom and everything like that. You could fuck that up. That'd be probably like crash into your wall in your living room. But
this is my official pleading to Rockstar Games to make a Quidditch game.
To Rockstar?
No, to Rockstar. You know they.
No. They're gonna add it as a new DLC to Grand Theft Auto 5. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah. They're gonna kill it.
That would be nutty. That'd be crazy. So seeing as to how that, what kind of, I guess, franchise would you like to see take the because when I originally heard about the Harry Potter game, like the rumors were all that it was gonna be like a Pokemon Go style kind of thing where it was like AR and you would cast spells and stuff like that and AR and shit like that. That's what I heard it was gonna be like, but apparently it's not like that now, so.
I mean, that would be a pretty cool game. That'd be a pretty cool feature. They had a bunch of other similar games like that before, but the thing is, the Harry Potter franchise is not set upon going out and exploring really, whereas like Pokemon, like you're meant to go out and explore. So I think that's what the difference is for it.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Like, did you remember Sorcerer's Stone for the PlayStation 1?
No.
I only played Sorcerer's Stone on the Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance.
Well, they had it for the PlayStation 1, and the whole time you're like exploring Hogwarts, like finding all the little crevices and shit, and it's a big area to explore. Like,
right. I'm not saying you're not exploring. I'm not saying you're not exploring an area, but it's not like Pokemon, where Pokemon is like the entire world. No matter what, you were always exploring, trying to find new species and everything else, and it's always changing. So I think Pokemon Go has a good formula for it. I don't know how much you could really do with Harry Potter, except like set up bases and then you pick a team if you're going to be good or evil and stuff like that.
I think the point that you're saying is, I think they wrote themselves into a corner by making it Hogwarts. If they had, because we know there are other schools. If you know the lore, you know there are other schools. If they had just done a new school, then they could have worked a lot more. There would be no continuity issues. But because they had to have those 4 schools, I gotta have Gryffindor, I gotta have Slytherin, they fucked up. They could have had other schools. They could have new schools like Pokemon. Pokemon, it was a new professor, so we knew it wasn't in Kanto, Johto, or anything like that. You're in a new zone, so you have your own lore, you have your own teams, whatever, and they can work with that. They don't have to work within the constraints of a certain book set or whatever. So that's the mistake that I think the Harry Potter game made. If they had just made it a new school with new factions or whatever, people would have been fine.
I feel like that's getting into dangerous territory, though, because you don't know if people want to play as houses from a different school. Like, people know, they know Hogwarts, people like Hogwarts, people like that area.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. If you creatively, you write yourself into a hole with that, because you have a set like setting or whatever. You have certain teachers you have to have in there. They have to act a certain way, and you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I think Pokemon worked a little bit better for this kind of mass market appeal is that Pokemon can be anywhere. You can find Pokemon just wherever, and that's fine. But when you work with Hogwarts has to have a certain feel, and I honestly think they should have just done it in school. Bottom line, they fucked up.
I think you're right, Delapo, on completely right on that sense. But also, even if they did do it the way you're talking about, I still think it would be limited because it's not a Pokemon game. Because Pokemon is based on Niantic's old game, right?
Yeah.
Where they had these old bases. You would go, you set up, and you protect it and try to level it up or whatever. And that game, the concept was really fun and interesting, but realistically, even though a lot of people played it, like, it wasn't as big. It just didn't have the character. So even if Harry Potter adapted the exact same style as Niantic's old game or Pokemon Go, I still think it wouldn't be as fun as Pokemon, because you're always exploring, having new Pokemon over different, 10 generations now.
So is it just because of branding then? Is that what you're talking about? Because
I want to say it's not necessarily branding, but it's just like the Pokemon world is better suited for that situation. Whereas like the Harry Potter world, I don't see it like, okay, this is my base. Now what do I do? Set up a Sorcerer's Stone here to protect it from the invading school, and then wait for them to come and then do it again. Like, it doesn't make sense for that much. But like in Pokemon, you have a gym, you protect the gym. Like, it's their concept coming to life more than the Harry Potter one.
Well, I mean, even with Harry Potter though, like the newer movies, they don't even have Harry Potter in the name. So it's still synonymous with the branding though, because we know it's within the same world. Fantastic Beasts didn't have Harry Potter in the name. The new one coming up, oh my god, I can't even remember what the fuck it is. But we know that they take place in the same world. So I know what Steven was talking about, in the sense that if Harry Potter wasn't in the name, would they still be interested? Yeah, I still think so. As long as you make some sort of connection, like maybe you call it like the Wizarding World or something like that, people will still know, and you still have opportunities. And it doesn't have to be an AR game, But I think there's a lot. I just think there's a lot more creative freedom in what you could do. But yeah, Lewis, you're definitely right. Like, I mean, as far as AR goes, it probably wouldn't translate.
Right, and then like,
yeah,
what kind of games would you have? Like a mobile game is usually because it's a lot of users and you're like, you know, versing. Like Clash Royale and Pokemon, you're always fighting somebody else or a different team. In Harry Potter, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill the other team, or are you just play? Is it a quick Quidditch match? Like, what do you do? Do you
the aim would
them?
probably be to make you know, house points. How you know, for your faction, kind of like with the teams in Pokemon Go, in the sense that you built up and you know, you did certain things to get points for your team. So what it would be is like some kind of faction based thing where you're getting house points, and at a certain time, maybe at the end of the month, each time they would tally up what the fuck house points due to things like, you know, crafting class and spells class and Quidditch like mini games, whatever. Look, I'm not a game designer. I'm just saying.
Like, now we're getting into what you would put in your Harry Potter game. We're just talking about our asses. We haven't even played the game.
Fuck the game. I'm gonna download that shit right now, so I can shit all over it. I don't know. It's very interesting, especially like if you think back to like the whole Star Wars thing, how easy it is for the, you know, with the branding and things like that. You basically have an easy home run, and somehow, some way, someone fucks it up.
I don't think they fucked it up, bro. People are playing it.
Okay, but I don't hear it in any news stories other than people crying about how the game is.
I don't think they fucked it up. I just don't think it's that successful.
Yeah,
but this one's definitely not should be very successful. For all intents and purposes, you have a Harry Potter game. Yeah.
It'll never be Clash Royale.
Exactly. And speaking of Clash Royale, you should join our clan here at Potentially Perfect. Just search at PoPerf, and that's us.
Best clan in the game.
We need 50 people to go to war, so hurry up and join, please.
Yeah, this is so dumb. All right. So I think we covered everything. Anyone else wanna everything before we go into the outro, so Steven can go to work?
Steven, why you got a job, bro? Get rid of it.
I know.
Bro, we can just quit our jobs and do this full time.
Oh, done. I don't even have a job.
All right, cool. GG. All right.
Now, don't ever use that acronym on this channel again.
PP only.
That's
PP only.
See, there you go. PP squad. Hashtag PP squad.
Thank you. I'm gonna leave this as uploaded on the YouTube. You can catch it on Twitch replay.
Because I'm the only viewer right now.
And it'll come in time. I didn't even know we were doing this live today, in all honesty. So yeah, we'll do this. We're doing this every week, and yeah. So make sure to check us out on Twitter, so you can see all the goings on. We post pretty cool stuff there. I post videos every once in a while on there. They're pretty funny. I think so. So does your mom. Anyways,
Mom was the comedian of the group.
Yeah. Hard. Lewis, where can I find you?
Switch more. Yeah, you should be able to find me at the Potentially Perfect Twitch page or on Twitter at I forgot my own handle. What am I again?
Wow.
GalvinRX on Twitter.
Steve, where are you at?
Oh my god.
You could definitely find me on Twitter at Shaggy1452 or dab or die. That's all one word. Dab or die _ trying.
Oh my god, you were the most.
You had gold. You had gold at dab or die, and then you fucked it up with trying.
Dab or die trying, bro.
All right, guys, and I'm getting good Dolapo. It's a remnant of a.
Of days when we were looking at the world through rose-colored lenses.
So he can remember every day what he lost.
I just look at that Twitter account and I'm just like shaking my head like, damn.
We need to get to 5 million subscribers so that we can go to war with you guys.
We'll take our squeakers and they shall battle the other squeakers. realize they're the same fucking squeaker. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And stay perfect.
We're signing off.
That was. Why did I do that? What the fuck is that?
I don't know, but now
You're not
everybody
allowed
else